Shalom. Baruch haba. Hello and welcome back. Todah for watching with us here again at Sari for this all-important Torah teaching on the coming of Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, according to the word of Yahuwah. We give all praise, honor, and esteem to Yahuwah Elohim for the abundance of wisdom he has given us to share with you so that you lack nothing in the judgment. Yom Kippur is the highlight of the redemptive process of Yahuwah. And the soul is something that no one should want to neglect. And I trust that you all followed the instructions written in the Torah and set that day apart, because the judgment is real, especially for believers in Adonai Yahushua, as are the days of Sukkot that are upon us now. And this is fitting because the survey on the lines for the Edut are a setup for the fulfillment of these days called the Festival of Sukkot, the time of the ingathering at the end of the year. So let's see how that plays out now in the story. So with Timakanim, if you're ready, that's Bonaki. Let's go. Devarim chapter 31, we'll be looking at verse 12, followed by the witness over in Yochanan. Chapter 15, we'll begin in verse 26. Gather the people together, men and women and little ones, and the stranger who is within your gates, that they may hear. Fitting for this time of Sukkot. But when the Helper comes, whom I shall send to you from Ab, gather the Aleph Tau people together. Mark of the accusative is on the people. It is their understanding of everlasting life. And of course, it is the Aleph Tau's people. Men and women and little ones, and the stranger. All of them are Aleph Tau's people. Who is within your gates. H8179, Sha'ar is a gate, or space inside the gate. A marketplace, or public meeting place. The verb is used in the original sense, and it means to reason out, to calculate, split open, and estimate. So these are people studying the word in the Hebrew. Aleph Tau, the only language that has those letters together. They are within your gates. These are people within your reasoning and understanding of the Aleph Tau and what it means. Everybody on the same page, that they may hear. As we continue on the line of survey over in Yochanan, Yahushua gathers his Aleph Tau people and makes a statement in the hearing of those present concerning the reasoning and understanding of everlasting life as it relates to him and what they can expect. The message here is for the ones in Devarim and the ones gathered with him in Yochanan along with us. The ones within his gates, his reasoning and understanding as it relates to the word of Yahuwah. He says, but when the Helper comes. This is according to the definition, something summoned, called to one's side, especially to aid, a legal assistant or advocate, one who pleads another's cause before a judge. So this is a mouthpiece as we know it. Then he goes on to say that he himself was going to send it to them from Ab. This is a very encouraging and lofty statement that is only found within the gates of Yisrael. No other religion has this expectation in their doctrine, that one from among them was going to Yahuwah Elohim and send them supernatural help from above. This was unheard of until then. So this is to help make sure everything gets done for the saving of the soul. The helper is a promise of supernatural deliverance for the benefit of the nation, to help ensure everything needed for everlasting life is accounted for, to ensure safe passage to dwell in the land of promise. This is something that the nation was going to hear. That they may learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim. The Ruwakh of truth, who proceeds from Ab. And that they may learn, H3925 is Lamed, an Hebrew letter that means to learn, to teach and be taught and trained. It's the root word of Lamudim, the taught ones, that they may learn to fear. H3372, Yareh, means to stand in awe of, respectfully, to be afraid so as to show honor and respect. They are to learn this. So this is a teacher, seen as the Ruwakh of truth over in Yochanan, meaning the truth shows great honor and respect by recognizing what is to be feared and held in great awe. And this is Yahuwah, your Elohim. He is the one deserving of the highest level of respect and honor. The mark of the accusative is with him. Salvation is with him. The Aleph Tah is there. Adonai Yahushua is the Aleph and the Tah. And what he sent at that time played out in the book of Maaseh. Acts, as most know it. It was one of the greatest hearing events of all time. What they saw was described as divided tongues of fire. This is what proceeded from Ab. It's his will. It is this speaking that assists you and ensures your everlasting life, Chayim Olam. He spoke of the wonderful works of Yahuwah, much like we are to do. The record was set straight back then as the account records it. So with the truth, you can't go wrong. Not a truth, but the truth. It was a hearing miracle. The account records what they heard. Again, it was a hearing miracle. Gather the people that they may hear. And carefully observe all the words of this Torah. He will testify of me. Again, this is the will. And carefully observe all the words. So the truth must be carefully observed according to all the words of this Torah. The mark of the accusative is on all the words. And this Torah, Echal Debri, HaTorah, Hazot. This is the truth that the Ruwakh was then and is now testifying to. They are found in this prophetic Torah teaching we are using to witness for this Idut. It is what we have been covering each week, using Devarim to show the great works of Yahuwah Elohim. He will testify of me. He no doubt spoke what was already written in the Torah and expounded upon it. This occurred during the days of Shavuot. another appointed time. Again, you can find the story in the book of Acts. The manifestation of it was tongues of fire that spoke. It was a hearing miracle that testified of the great works of Yahuwah concerning the coming of Adonai Yahushua. Devarim chapter 31, we will be looking at verse 13 as it lines up with Yochanan chapter 15. We'll carry over into chapter 16, verse 1. And that their children who have not known it may hear and learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim. And you also will bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning. And that their children who have not known it may hear Shema. It means to hear, listen, and obey. So again, when you read the story of the coming of the Ruwakh HaQodesh, you need, what you read about is a hearing miracle given to all the nations. And the message was concerning the wonderful works of Yahuwah. As I mentioned, it was done so that the scripture can be fulfilled that reads in Devarim that their children who have not known it may hear. They also hear this thing speaking according to the written account. These are later generations, and learn to fear Alapta Yahuwah, your Elohim. This is seen in Yochanan when it reads, and you will bear witness. Yahushua is letting them know what was to come and what they were going to do because of it. And that is teach what was heard, seen here, as bearing witness. And this too is seen in the written account when Shimon stood up in the book of Maaseh over in Acts and gave a powerful witness of Yahushua to men representing all the nations listed in the story. Yahushua says down in Yochanan, because you have been with me from the beginning. This is Shimon Petrus, the first one he called to follow him. He was from the beginning of his ministry. And this is found in Matityahu chapter 4. Also, this message is for us, beloved, because we notice the mark of the accusative is seen in the Hebrew writing next to Yahuwah, your Elohim, found in the line to survey up in Devarim. This is the actual beginning of the hearing account in Yochanan. He first speaks of it here. Devarim is prophetic, and we have followed him from the beginning, where it was first written, that beginning. It was first written here in Devarim as the Edut. This is the beginning of our witness here at Sarid. It is similar to Shimon's found in the book of Acts chapter 2, verse 22. When you go to the verse, you find the word attested in some of your scriptures. The Greek word used there was G584. And I believe it's pronounced apodacnomy. Don't quote me on the pronunciation. It's the definition that raises eyebrows. It is the same as the verb for Torah, Yarah. It means to point out and show. This verb means to point away from oneself, to point out, show forth, to expose to view. exhibit, to prove what kind of person anyone is, to prove by arguments, to demonstrate. It's the same words written another way. That's what it is. So the word Torah, or some root of it. Some root of it was most likely used initially and then replaced because of oppression on the written account by those who mean to destroy you. Okay? And I'm going to read that verse there that Petrus spoke. Men of Yisrael, hear these words. Yahushua, a Nazir, a man attested by Yahuwah to you by miracles, wonders, and signs, which Yahuwah did through him in your midst, as you yourselves also know. So this is knowledge. Knowledge of most likely something found in the Torah. So what's going on there? As long as you live in the land which you crossed the Jordan to possess. These things I have spoken to you, that you should not be made to stumble. As long as you live in the land which you cross the Jordan to possess, the mark of the accusative is on the Jordan. And Yahushua is giving us instructions that goes beyond the earthly Jordan. The spiritual definition is used here for the word land, Adamah. This definition, as some of you who have been following already know, identifies the soul. To live in that land, you have to cross the Jordan, pass through the waters. The soul passes through the Shemayim on the way up. The Jordan, H3383, means descender. The verb means to come down of revelation. Okay? And this is seen as the words of encouragement found in Yochanan. These things I have spoken to you, that you should not be made to stumble. It came down as revelation. Things you need to live long life, everlasting life, in the land which you cross the Jordan to possess. So you don't slip up. Or as it reads, that you should not be made to stumble. Amen. Devarim chapter 31:14 will line up with Yochanan chapter 16, verses 2 and 3. Then Yahuwah said to Moshe, behold, the days approach when you must die. Call Yahushua and present yourselves in the Achel of meeting, that I may inaugurate him. They will put you out of the synagogues. Yes, the time is coming when whoever kills you will think that he offers Elohim service. Then Yahuwah said to Moshe, he says to the one drawn, behold. H2005 is hen. Henecha. Hen is a hypothetical participle. This word is serving as a hypothesis, a supposition, or proposed explanation made on the basis of limited evidence as a starting point for further investigations. So as we survey and investigate these lines, Yahuwah says to Moshe, the days approach when you must die. The emphasis is on you here. You must die. Mut. Mut means to die, to be killed and put to death. Dispatched. Call Yahushua. The mark of the accusative is Yahushua. This is everlasting life. It is on Yahushua. And if he is called, everlasting life is what you can expect. But for this investigation, notice he says, call the Aleph Tah Yahushua and present yourselves. So this is prophetic. There is someone at this first meeting named Yahushua. Devarim writes the Aleph Tah Yahushua. This is prophesying of the one who was to come. And he indeed was written in the line to survey down in Yochanan. So this is beautiful. He is the one speaking. Yahuwah says above, present yourselves. So notice how Yahushua is speaking to you. This is seen as being presented. He is speaking to the one drawn. You. Present yourselves in the Achel of meeting. H168 is the tent. This is a set-apart place for worship to Yahuwah. The verb means to be clear and shine. The place of meeting is seen down in Yochanan as the synagogue. G656 is Apo Synagogus, and it means excluded from sacred assemblies of Yisrael. Excommunicated. So this word chosen is not a building. This word is an adjective that is describing what Yahushua says is going to happen to you. Excommunication. You are the ones drawn here. Again, emphasis is on you. However, the word apo synagogus is made up of two root words, one meaning separation and the other is a place assembling for worship. Yahuwah says from above that I may inaugurate him. Yahushua. The word for inaugurate is sawah, H6680, and it means to give orders, to give a command or lay a charge upon. So Yahuwah is going to give him a command that must be followed. And what is clear and shining at this meeting is the statement Yahushua makes concerning you. Yahuwah has said the days approach when you must die. And Yahushua says, yes, the time is coming that whoever kills you will think that he offers Elohim service. They're going to kill you as an act of worship. This is what they are thinking. They hate you because you have the truth in you. So Moshe and Yahushua went and presented themselves in the Achel of meeting. And here they go, and these things they will do to you because you have not known, because they have not known Ab or me. And then there is this footnote. And here is the footnote. NU text and M text omit to you. Okay? This is seen in the word as a killing. Killing you. How beautiful is the word of Yahuwah to orchestrate his will yet again in the written account. Let's investigate to see how masterfully this plays out. So Moshe and Yahushua went and presented themselves in the Achel of meeting. This is seen in the statement Yahushua continues to make concerning you, Moshe, the one drawn to hear this message. Us. He says, and these things they will do to you because they have not known Ab or me. The thing he is talking about is found in this footnote. As I have mentioned, the word you is omitted. And this is death. Foretold from the very top line of this survey. It reads in a hypothetical sense for the adult. Behold, he said, behold, the days approach when you must die. Then the word you is omitted. So this is some extraordinary stuff going on here. It is all overseen by Yahuwah, and Yahushua follows his charge and goes on to warn us who is going to play a part in the death of you. He does this by saying these things they will do to you. So this is more than one. They. They are the NU and the M-text scholars. They, them people. They signed off on the change. You know, these are Christian teachers. You know, their diabolical plan heavily influences the thinking of everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahuwah Elohim. Because it is written in the survey line, they have not known Ab or me. They have not known Yahuwah or Yahushua. They have been promoting a worldwide destruction that's so cunning and demonically influenced, very few have noticed. And even fewer people even care. And they will stop at nothing to promote the lie they have cooked up to deceive the people. Deceive the people. And this they do with those diabolical names. Y'all know them, God and Jesus. The whole world is with them. They're all in it together. And this is foul. This is the conversation between Yahushua and you, his taught ones. They have been drawn to hear the word on the way to meet Yahuwah. So to recap, the reason Yahuwah said, behold, to start this discourse was to explain something that was based on limited evidence. It was unseen. This place that they were talking about, you had to die to get there and see it. So to save some trouble and encourage us at the same time, that's why he used a hypothetical participle, behold. So the lines of survey concerning the land B'nai Yisrael was promised in Devarim is being hypothetically explained in Yochanan by Yahushua. The earthly part of what was done by them is hypothetically identified with Yahushua's actual departing of this world to go and actually possess and prepare a land someplace else, unseen. He had to die to get there, and so will you. So he wants you to get there too. So he's giving advice so that we should not be made to stumble. So let's pay close attention. This is how we learn to fear Yahuwah Elohim. People will stop at nothing. Devarim chapter 31:15 will line up with Yochanan chapter 16, verse 4. Now Yahuwah appeared at the Echel. But these things I have told you. Now Yahuwah appeared at the Echel. This represents the place where this set-apart meeting was taking place in the wilderness. The Echel of meeting. The tent of meeting, to discuss something of next level importance. The verb means to be clear and shine. This represents the message of what was being relayed over down in Yochanan. Yahushua is speaking with Moshe, represented as you, the taught ones, you and me, the ones drawn to hear this message. Yahushua is now delivering in another set-apart place. He's delivering it with you. He says, but these things I have told you. Yahuwah didn't say it. This was the conversation between them. It was before Yahuwah appeared. The verse reads, now Yahuwah appeared. Okay? Meaning by this time he had already told them. Or as it is worded, but these things I have told you. In a pillar of cloud, that when the time comes you may remember that I told you of them. Yahuwah appeared in a pillar of cloud. Amud is an upright column of smoke, and the verb means to take one's stand or present oneself. In other words, the clouds came together and began to take form. The word for cloud identifies a theophanic cloud, which means the visible manifestation of something supernatural. This was no doubt an amazing sight. So Yahuwah shows himself in the form of that spectacle. Yahuwah is the one that is going to send the Ruwakh HaQodesh at Yahushua's request. As he mentioned previously, the Ruwakh proceeds from Yahuwah. This is why Yahuwah now appears at the meeting in a pillar of cloud. Something supernatural is occurring and will occur that is obscured. That is to say, it was not clearly expressed or easily understood how this event was going to take place. It was clouded, obscured. It's not even known about until then, at the time of Yahushua. And because it was a first of its kind and supernatural, it was hard to define the details of them because of their limited understanding. They just would not have been able to wrap their mind around that type of covert operation. So he just says to them, when the time comes, you may remember that I told you of them. Then there's a footnote in the verse, and here it is. The NU text reads there. They say at the NU the verse is best understood this way, that when their time comes, you may remember that I told you of them. The footnote makes no point as it relates to the story and the survey of the lines together. The time will come when these things happen. The Ruwakh is the key to the whole operation of witnessing the truth. Without the helper, nothing gets done that is going to reach the multitude of people in supernatural fashion. A great wonder, if you will. This requires a helper from above. However, because they added themselves into the judgment by writing when their time comes, these are the NU people. They are a part of the ones who are going to persecute and oppress you, put you out of the worship places. Their time is coming too. And the pillar of cloud stood above the door of the Achel. And these things I did not say to you at the beginning, because I was with you. These verses, as I have mentioned, follow the verses about the coming of the Ruwakh HaQodesh, the helper that was to come, found at the end of chapter 15 in Yochanan. The pillar of cloud stood above the door of the Echel. The door is the entranceway or opening of this covert operation. Over in Yochanan, it is seen when he says to them, "In these things I did not say to you at the beginning." These are the things he did not say to them at the beginning of this appointed place of meeting for the Adut. The beginning begins in Yochanan chapter 15, 26 as well. That is when the helper is made mention of. That verse just happens to be the beginning of this video Torah teaching. How powerful is the word of Yahuwah even in the written account? For the taught ones at the time, he was physically with them. It was clouded as well, obscured because he was with them. If Yahushua is right there, you don't need the Ruwakh. Devarim chapter 31, verse 16. We'll line up with Yochanan chapter 16, verses 5 through 7. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, "Behold, you will rest with your ancestors." And over in Yochanan, Yahushua declares, "But now I go away to him who sent me." And Yahuwah said to Moshe, he said to the one drawn, "Behold." Here we have this word again, H2009, Henecha. This word for behold is a demonstrative participle. So Yahuwah is going to demonstrate something through Moshe's death. This is a hypothetical participle, so this is a foreshadow of some future likeness of its kind. He goes on to say, "You will rest with your ancestors." And over in Yochanan, the fulfillment of that statement is revealed by Yahushua when he says, "But now I go away to him who sent me." And this is also the beauty, again, of the written word lining up here to see it in the lines of survey. Moshe demonstrated it then, but now Yahushua goes to that rest. Shakab means to lie down, as in death, to lodge. So this is a temporary thing, to relax. It's a way to get him to the one who sent him. Death is the way. No one can see the face of Yahuwah and live. And this people will rise and play the harlot with the mighty ones of the foreigners of the land where they go to be among them. And none of you ask me, where are you going? And this people will rise and play the harlot. H2181, Zanah is figuratively used of unfaithfulness to Elohim. They are going to proceed to go in that manner, playing, that manner of life. Yalak is used figuratively here also in the definition for play, this part of the harlot. Okay, they will rise. H6965. Kum means to come on the scene. Yahuwah is talking about this people seen over in Yochanan as none of you. Yahushua was talking to all that were present for this very important covert operation. The true people were mixed in with the foreigners of the land. Yahushua was talking to Ibrit, Aramaic, and Greek descendants, as represented by the names of the players at the meeting. Yahushua had gathered them to a special place. This is what Yahuwah means when he says where they go to be among them. None of them asked him where he was going. It is framed in a question. Because of all that's being revealed, they never thought to ask him to explain that. And they will forsake me. But because I have said these things to you, sorrow has filled your heart. And they will forsake me. The word for forsake is azab, H8500, and it means to depart from, leave behind, and let alone. Yahuwah is the one speaking. This is who Yahushua is going to in order to fulfill this all-important mission. This is a very important part of the redemptive plan. This is part for us. They have apparently lost sight of that because Yahushua says, because I have said these things to you, sorrow has filled your heart. They don't want to lose him. That's their leader. But he got to go do this, because if he does not, and break my berit, nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away, for if I do not go away, the helper will not come to you. And break my berit, the mark of the accusative is on the berit, the covenant. It brings everlasting life. Yahuwah has instituted it to ensure his will is done. Yahushua is the one responsible for our successful passage through the waters in the Chaim Olam. So he says, nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away, for if I do not go away, the helper will not come to you. The helper is the down payment on the process. The word for break means to frustrate and make ineffectual. Yahuwah sees the Ruwakh, or helper, not coming as a way to frustrate his plans and potentially ruin everything by leaving this most important part of the redemptive plan undone, just because they're thinking about it. His plan is to get everyone who believes saved, and their actions are seen as frustrating. Which I have made with them. But if I depart, I will send him to you. The mark of the accusative is on them. Ito, they are the ones who have come on the scene to fulfill this prophetic event, so that it lines up with this special Torah teaching, so that this witness can go out to all the world as being fulfilled. The helper sets the stage for all who are to follow from that time forward. He is needed because of the supernatural forces of evil that oppose the will of Yahuwah. So all of this is in preparation for the coming of the Ruwakh HaQodesh. So this highly classified and prophetic piece of work that has to be done by him is extremely important. You know, and Yahuwah made that covenant with his people. He made the covenant with his people. And they are the players that are going to execute this most important thing, particularly Adonai Yahushua. This is the work of Yahuwah. It's his will. So There's nothing like this prophetically. So nothing else like this. This is next level stuff. And it was written right here in the Torah for all the world to see. But no one saw this play out. Not in the Torah. Amen. I'm sure you will agree with me that they missed this very important occurrence written in the Torah. Even the Jews, with all of their bragging rights, so to speak, never knew this. That's because the teaching is faulty in world religion. Yet, they can be saved if they repent and confess that Yahushua is in fact the Redeemer of Yisrael. Otherwise, they have no hope with all of their claim as being the chosen people. So do not be deceived, nor deceive yourselves. Todah for watching with us here at Sari during these days of Sukkot. If you have not already, please subscribe. Chag Sabaoth, wishing you a joyous festival. Shalom.